Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
That was scary as it could be.
Why is that? What happened?
My audio equipment started a update as soon as you started the video right there.
Oh, I saw you hopped out. I was like,
I didn't hop out. It just dropped.
I was like, where'd he go? What's going on? Hey, everybody. Welcome to this Tusk Talk with Ty Monday Night Lights. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I know I did. Arkansas took care of business in Little Rock against Arkansas State after how mouthy the Red Wolves have been for the past 20, 30 years, however long, I don't know, forever. So it was good to shut them up. The Rams won in a tight one against the Texans, which didn't get to watch that game. Damn it.
The Eagles beat the Cowboys.
You better watch it with that one. Yeah, Cowboys lost. Womp womp. Pretty good game though. It was a pretty good game. They gave the Eagles more than I thought they would, especially down a star player on defense.
I think I read Jerry Jones. The difference in the game was we needed a star player in the backfield.
I was hoping that was real. I wanted that to be real so bad.
Me too.
Yeah. So, and then I think I went perfect on predictions this weekend. I don't think I missed a single one in Discord. I could be wrong, but I think I got every single prediction. So that would make me 5 for 5, I think. And I finished our cycle, XP cycle number 8, finished this morning. Oh. Hog Pat took first place. I finished in second, largely because I killed it in predictions last week too. I've been killing it lately. I wish I could say the same about my fantasy football team. I'm already off to an 0-2 start with both my leagues. But yeah, so it's been a good weekend for me. Tim, how was your weekend, sir? Your Eagles won, and
Eagles won. Arkansas won. I mean, that was probably the biggest thing of the weekend, honestly. So my weekend was great. So great. I decided not to mow my lawn and let it get 6 inches high, and now I'm gonna regret it this week when I try to mow that.
I don't see the problem with that. As long as you gotta, it is supposed to get hotter this week. I don't know if you saw that, but the temperatures went up.
Yes, it is.
They started off low. My wife was like, "I don't think this is false fall. I think this is for real. I think we're getting early fall." And I was like, "I'll believe that when I see it."
No, I think this is one last gasp of summer.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
And it's perfect timing because I'll be at the AMP this week. If anybody wants to show up at the AMP and try to find me in 11,000 people.
Wait, who's playing at the AMP this weekend?
Boys to Men is at the AMP this week.
Oh, okay.
So I'm taking somebody to the AMP, and it couldn't be a better day to expect 90 degrees.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. I'm here. What's up, Pops? How you doing? Arky 56. Hope you're doing well. Just joined. Any injury updates? Yeah, we're gonna get to that here in just a second. Appreciate the comments already popping. Good Lord, already going. Again, make sure you guys like the stream, share the content, hit the subscribe button. So I wanted to start off with this right here. You know what? We might get hit with a copyright. I really don't care.
This one's worth it.
This is worth it.
No Parsons in here. He got hit a couple plays ago. He's on a knee on the sideline right now. Here they bring it. They go to the end zone. Wow. Is that caught? That's caught.
Wow.
Hold on, we need to have a second look at that.
I think that's
TeSlaa.
TeSlaa.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I could, and I watched most of that game. I'd say most. I had it on in the background while I was doing some stuff here at the computer, here at the desk, at the pewter, and I had that on. And I just look up and I'm seeing this replay, and I'm like, "Oh my god, was that TeSlaa?"
Yep.
And sure enough, and here's the replay. Let me fast forward. See, so they initially ruled it incomplete, right?
Down.
And that's his trait, too.
Replay.
He's got
First
ability.
replay, it does
They
look
say
like
incomplete.
exactly.
He was barely out, but the catch was an incredible
Crazy.
catch. I think he had
That
barely
is-
out.
Look at this.
Let's see.
That's beautiful.
One in for sure. Two.
Well, I tell you what, if you're a Razorback fan, you're having some complete FOMO right now.
Yeah.
And for the older folks, you're like, well, what did you just call me? No. FOMO. It's fear of missing out. That was just incredible. So TeSlaa gets Tim, he gets his first touchdown as a Detroit Lion, and this wasn't preseason, by God. This was regular
So
season.
yeah, first regular season game. I think he's gonna have a big year, man, if he stays healthy.
Yeah. I know they've got, again, that's a pretty good, they've got some options in the passing game. I get that, and they, David Montgomery and Gibbs in the running back room. They got a couple guys that can catch the ball out of the backfield, but Brown and Laporta. But it's good that, listen, that was his one and only target, because I don't think he got any other snaps up until that point. I could be wrong. But his one and only target is good for 13 yards and a touchdown. His very first NFL career catch is a 13-yard touchdown.
One-handed, dragging the heels. Not even just an everyday catch.
Stuff that we saw in spring and fall camp when he was here. I mean, it was just and I remember his first year, he was a human highlight reel. And no one was making the comparison to Treylon Burks, but they were certain, like, there was a lot of like, oh, could he be the next big time guy? And then obviously his first year was it was a mess. Let's not sit there and act like that was all on him or, whatever, or the receiving core necessarily. It was just a mess with that offense. And then he comes in with Petrino. Well, Petrino comes in, I should say, and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a year for him. Someone like this should excel. And
Lost.
what was he, fifth on the target list?
Something like that. Yeah. Half the catches of the previous year. And not as many drops either. So just not as many targets.
Yeah. Well, TeSlaa, congratulations, man. That was what a way to start your
You get
career.
the Monday night gold chain.
The Monday night
NFL
gold chain. Well, and it's even better too that he caught that. I know the game at that point was done.
Yeah.
But it was good that he caught that from Jared Goff, because now there's got to be a comfortability factor now between him and TeSlaa. If that wasn't already established between the two of them,
For sure.
so that could have been a backup. And it's just whatever. But that's from Jared Goff. That's the guy. That's QB1 in Detroit, who's proved a lot of folks wrong that he's actually a pretty decent quarterback, even though he didn't have a great day. Being sacked 4 times for like 30 yards certainly doesn't help. But yeah, that's a big deal. So hopefully we get to see more of him. And I think you're right. I think we will see more of him.
I mean,
All
he
right.
did it all preseason. It's not like that's his first catch. It's first
Right.
real catch that counts. But all preseason he was scoring. So
He was
I do feel like they're going to find a role for him. It's not just going to be okay, we're already losing, we'll put TeSlaa in and keep anybody else from getting hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to get – it won't be junk minutes, I don't think. I think moving forward, he'll be again, he's got to break through. There's some great targets there, but
Sure.
but he's yeah, I think he's going to have a pretty good rookie year, man. I don't know. It'll be exciting to watch. Hey, shout out to this show's sponsor, Direct Service Overhead. Ever had a garage door break at the worst possible time? Yeah, we've been there. That's why Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company, is the go-to company for garage door repair in Little Rock and all of Central Arkansas. They offer same-day emergency service, and they fix everything from busted springs to brand new installs. These guys show up fast, get the job done right, and they actually stand by their work. So don't wait around. Call Direct Service Overhead today at 501-244-3667 or check them out at directserviceoverhead.com. Your garage door will thank you.
Oh my God, I thought my computer just froze. You're totally messing with me. You pause and I'm like, shit, what's going on?
I'm trying to add a little spice to the DSO ad read, baby. Again, shout out to Travis. Travis couldn't join us tonight. His kid's playing football, but he said he's available Wednesday. I mean, we'll see. Well, yeah, that'll be the preview show for Ole Miss. I'm so excited for that one. We'll see if he, I'm not holding my breath.
We're gonna call him out if he doesn't show up.
If he doesn't show up, we're getting him because he said he would. So, absolutely. All right, Arkansas. You know what? We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go right into the game this week.
Okay.
We're gonna just go right into it. We'll get into the injury updates and all that here in just a second. Travis, I know we're about to do a breakdown here in just a second, but I kind of want everyone kind of heard my reaction on Saturday, and I'm sure I'll add a little pepper and spice, to it tonight. Add a little more than what I had on Saturday. But what was your like biggest takeaways from this slaughtering of Arkansas State?
I'm wondering if I should just sit here for a minute since you called me Travis and
or Tim
answer it. Travis, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, he's actually in the room with me.
I mean, look, I went back and watched just the first quarter today. The first quarter was easily the most exciting part of the game. And I try to give realistic, not sunshine pumping, but not negative takes. And when I rewatched the first quarter today, I have a little bit different feeling than I had after the game. Like after the game, I was like, okay, we did what we were supposed to do. I'm real excited about the fact that we went out there and we thumped them. I think it set up as a classic trap game. I've said that for 2 weeks or 3 weeks now, that was your classic trap game. And we came out and we were serious about it. We took them seriously, obviously prepared for them. Our offensive line came out and did some good things. Our defensive line got pressure. Sorey played out of his mind. Singletary proved he needs to be kicked off the team. But there were a lot of good things. But on the rewatch, there was plenty to clean up just in the first quarter, which was the highlights were great. Everything that happened seemed to be great, but there was plenty to clean up. I don't leave that game going, okay, now we're gonna march into Ole Miss and teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
Because when you look back, Talon had some great runs, but he had some great runs because there were offensive line breakdowns. There were some penalties that I don't think we need to have when your slot receiver doesn't get set before the ball snapped. That's just something you got to clean up. We can't do that kind of silly stuff in an SEC play. Again, Singletary constantly getting beat and holding on to guys. We can't do that in SEC play and get away with it. But overall, man, they came out, they took it seriously. They played with their hearts. They didn't get down with they didn't do the traditional Arkansas 98-yard kickoff return. Okay, I guess we let these guys back in the game. We're not as good as we thought we were. They didn't get down on themselves. They went right back out and scored. So I'm hoping that maybe that's the one absolute terrible Scott Fountain product we see, but I'm not expecting it to be. So,
did you catch when they called a timeout when they went out on we thought they were icing the kicker?
No, he was chewing them out, right?
Apparently they had 12 men on the field. Unless I heard that wrong.
But I did see Sam in his face yelling.
He was fuming.
He was letting him have it. Which that's what he deserves. That kind of stuff is stupid. And again, outside of a cupcake game. We're not getting away with that and walking out a big time victory.
Yeah.
Talen's first pick, I think he just got a little too comfortable from what I saw. I rewatched it about 5 times. Rewound it, kept watching the defender. The defender stayed right in that spot. Talen should have seen him. I think he just got too comfortable with, we're kind of doing whatever we want here. I'm going to thread this needle and make this pass to Omega Blake, who again had a great game. But I think he got just a little too comfortable that he could do whatever he wanted, and he threw that first pick, and that was on nobody but him. There was no pressure. There was no reason for him to make that throw. The defender wasn't. I mean, the defender was in that space the entire time. He wasn't kind of hidden. It was just a bad choice. But he did have a lot of time to make his reads. So there was a lot of good stuff. I think there was definitely more good than bad, but there was a lot that we need to clean up between now and Saturday. That's my take.
It's not bad. I wonder. I think it was the first pick that, to me, I wondered. And someone else said this, and I was thinking the same thing. Rewatching it on Sunday, I wonder if the ref got in the way. Like it just was a weird throw and not one that I've seen him do. Like that kind of mistake. He's turned the ball over, sure. But he just clearly did not see that defender, and it was right where the official was.
Well, on the rewatch, like I said, I backed it up. I just sat there and backed it up backwards and forwards about 5 times.
Yeah.
The defender takes 2 steps to the right, and then he shifts back to the left because he's in a zone. And I think he was watching Talen's eyes. I think he was watching his eyes, and he shifted to the right about 2 steps, and then he's back to the left.
Yeah.
And he was in the perfect spot for that throw. And I think Talen just thought everything's going right. I can thread this needle, and he couldn't thread that needle.
It was a rare. I say it's a. I mean, yeah, he threw interceptions last year, but I guess the point that I'm making is that just didn't seem. That seems so. The way it happened was like, how did he threw it right to the guy?
A lot of last year it was balls thrown behind guys. It might have bounced off someone's hands. Or wildly overthrown. It was actually a good pass in the right direction to an open receiver if he didn't have that guy playing the zone right there.
Yeah.
I think he thought he could do something. He wasn't.
We have a question here from Cody. What's up, Cody Blasco? Hey, Ty, the question you asked me the other night, if I thought the defense was better than last year, it's a yes. Our defensive line has definitely stepped up. We can beat Ole Miss. Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, we'll talk about Ole Miss on Wednesday. I'm really excited about that one. Again, make sure you guys like, share, hit the subscribe button. We added a bunch of new subscribers over the last couple of weeks. Shout out to anybody. I mean, if you're one of those new people, appreciate it. Make sure you hit the notification bell and share the content, because sharing is caring. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Yeah, I agree with you that there was a lot more. I think there was definitely a lot more good than bad. The thing that stood out to me, and I was going back over, I was thinking like, okay, when we do a follow-up on Monday night, I need to have some extra information that I maybe left out on Saturday. And I didn't even think to look at this until after I was done. Arkansas on 12 scoring drives. On 12 scoring drives, they were successful nearly 70% of their drives. They had 8 out of their 12 drives ended up as scoring drives. And they had a similar number, and I we get it. It's Alabama A&M, it's Arkansas State. We've not even played someone of Kentucky's caliber yet, right? Ole Miss has played Kentucky, struggled a little bit, but it's still a better opponent, and they're going to have way more film to go back to than Arkansas is over these last 2 games, just off that Kentucky game alone, of things they need to fix. And boy, they got some things they got to fix. But I was impressed with this. The other thing that was interesting, Arkansas's average third down distance was right under 4 yards. Their drive success rate was 90%. Touchdown success rate was 67. Their average start was on their own 26. So it's not like they were getting midfield. It's not like they were giving the short end of the field. I mean, their average start was from the 26.
They weren't
Arkansas-
getting 98-yard kickoff returns.
Yeah. Whoa, God, yeah, for real. Ole Miss, or excuse me, Arkansas State had 11 total drives, and obviously they only actually scored on offense once. So they only had a scoring percentage of 9%, 9% touchdown rate out of those 11 drives. Yeah, you scrap that kick return. This should have been maybe worse than 56-7 because maybe who knows what happens on that next possession, but this could have very well been 56-7. An absolute thumping and an even lower percentage for Arkansas State on their scoring drive, which again was at 9%, which is abysmal. I wouldn't have guessed that. I really thought Arkansas State was going to score, on offense, not just special teams, but I thought their offense was going to come out and maybe put up 17 points, 17, maybe 20 points. I was impressed with the defense. I was impressed with Quincy Rhodes, with Lee, Sorey. Up until the point he got a little banged up. Cam Ball was also seen limping off the field, but I think he's okay. And we're going to get an injury update here in just a second. But the defense, the secondary played. I mean, I was very impressed with the secondary.
Could I locked up? Was it Rucker? I locked up Rucker.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he's getting the credit for the receiver that he is.
Yeah.
Or that our defender is getting the credit for shutting him down the way he did.
He did, absolutely. And Rucker has
the most active receiving yards in the NCAA, I believe.
Oh, was it that? I know it was like group of 5.
I want to say it was the whole NCAA. I have to go back and listen because they talked about it early in the game.
Well, he was 3 catches. I mean, you're right. He was completely locked up. 3 catches for 20 yards.
I was impressed with Julian Neal too in his coverage. So that's not something I said last season ever. One time about a cornerback, I was impressed with your coverage.
Even in their junk games, maybe UAPB, but it's like, yeah, okay, it's UAPB.
Like playing a high school, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's
actually, my parents went and watched UAPB play this weekend.
Oh yeah.
And we had dinner Sunday night, and my parents were like, what's so great about watching UAPB? I was like, what's that? They said, the band is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Not one thing about the game. The band is amazing.
Yeah. Well, Arkansas State is definitely a step up from them, and they're a step up from Alabama A&M. And I feel like we need to have some like message below the bottom, like, yes, we know this is a Sun Belt school. Yes, we know. Because I don't know how many times I'm either going to get text messages from friends, DMs somewhere, or what, someone in the comments, but do it against a halfway decent opponent. Yeah, Arkansas State is a really bad team. I never once thought that they were going to cover the spread. I said at minimum, what would be acceptable is, I say acceptable. At minimum, what wouldn't to me be atrocious is beating these guys by like 20 points, 17, 20 points, only because at that point they've probably subbed in the 2s, who did get quite a bit of playing time in the fourth quarter actually and looked pretty good. But yeah, I never thought that Arkansas State was going to cover that spread.
Well, I did. I mean, I said it last week. A lot of it was built off of past performance by Arkansas, coaching by Arkansas. Nothing to do with Arkansas State, but just how we react when something goes wrong. Yeah. And I'm so impressed with the way we acted when things went wrong over this game.
Oh, yeah. Because it looked like with those 2 interceptions by Green, it was like, oh, this could get
suddenly
this could get
be a game, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
but that's the way Arkansas is. So it was nice to see them not get down on themselves. Yeah, it was great.
It really was.
It gives me, so I told you, it makes it, I told you that this game could make me change my thoughts a little bit. And I know you said after the game, you're like, this doesn't change my thoughts because of this, but it does for me a little bit. It makes Ole Miss a 50-50 game for me where I called it a loss.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I still think we could lose, but I also have more hope of winning after watching the way that we responded to difficulty. That did make a change for me because I'm just used to us responding to difficulty in such a pathetic way. But to watch them go out there and go, okay, we threw a pick, let's go get it back. It's just a different mindset this year, I think.
We covered the spread, which means we played better than Vegas thought we would. Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost doubled the spread. So again, I'm not, well, there's something else I want to point out too that I looked at today, and I don't have it up on my screen, but I did see where Arkansas in all their games moving forward, the ESPN matchup predictor.
Mm-hmm. Did they change it?
Yeah. They're now favored to beat Texas A&M.
Wow.
They bumped it to see, and I've got the original, because I do this every year. I always make sure to snapshot the original, what used to be called the Football Power Index. It's now the matchup predictor. And again, it's not telling you that, oh, you've only got a 26%, like on one game. This is, best out of 10. How many games do you win? 6 or 7 out of 10, right? I mean, that's kind of how I think the matchup predictor is supposed to be viewed. And right now, Ole Miss originally, and I want to wait to talk about this next on Wednesday. Ole Miss was favored. Ole Miss is the only one I think that actually maybe went in the opposite direction. But every other game, Arkansas is now favored over. I think Memphis jumped. Let me look at this again. Memphis was 39%. Arkansas was only favored at 60%. That's jumped up to 66%. That jumped up 6 percentage points. Notre Dame was favored at 69%. They're favored at 69%. That has dropped to 54%. That is now, according to the matchup predictor, that this is basically a coin flip game, according to the matchup predictor. Now, I would take that. Well, you take them all with a grain of salt because it's 2 games in, right? And Notre Dame's only played the 1, but Arkansas, depending on what they do against Ole Miss, let's say it's a close loss, right? Let's say it's a 30-29 or 30-27, or even if they lose by maybe 7 points, 37-30. And depending on what Notre Dame does this upcoming week, this could shift a little bit more in Arkansas's favor, and where it really is a straight up 49-51% kind of game. But again, Notre Dame's still got to play a little bit before we get to that point. But they jumped, and then A&M. So I think A&M was the only one that completely flipped. I want to double check this. Yeah, Arkansas is now favored at 55%. At the beginning of the year, A&M was favored at 62%.
That's interesting because I think Notre Dame's next game is A&M.
It is.
Notre Dame's next game is A&M, and we have the matchup predictor on our side for A&M.
Yeah, and Notre Dame's got to play them this weekend.
Well,
and they jumped nearly every game. They have gone up. LSU was 69% at the beginning of the year. 69% favored to beat Arkansas. That number, I think this was the biggest drop, has now dropped to just 54% in LSU's favor.
Wow. We're getting some love.
It's at least showing you that, like, that's why you need to keep a decent eye on matchup predictor, because it can kind of, how you feel about Arkansas, it kind of shows up in the matchup predictor, but it changes. Like, next week it will absolutely, we're going to see some changes. Now, I don't know, as long as I've been doing this, I've seen where every game was impacted the way that Arkansas's was, all their opponents. Like, every game is either 6% in Arkansas's favor or more, like LSU's case here. I mean, LSU, think about that. Even though it's not a night game, it's a either noon or 1 p.m. kickoff game, or maybe it's set for, I'm not sure. But anyways, it's not a night game in the most difficult environment to play in college football, in my opinion. And they're even though that's the case, right? LSU is still ranked number 3 in the country. They've got you at a 50-50 favorite, or 50-50 game, essentially, even though it's 54%. This is as close to 50-50 as you're going to really get on matchup predictor. But yeah, I mean, that's worth keeping an eye on. It's just kind of like a side note thing. You don't take this to the bank for sure, right? But that is a good sign. But I think some of that is because they're doing what they're doing to the spread. I mean, they're 2-0 versus the spread right now, and then, like they said in chat, they doubled the spread against Arkansas State. So just something worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I outside of the FPI or the matchup, I think what you could see this week, let's just pretend for a second Arkansas beats Ole Miss and A&M beats Notre Dame. I think you can see a momentum build in the season that we could go 5-0, where I didn't see that happening at the start of the season. If suddenly you beat Ole Miss and A&M beats Notre Dame and those players stop believing, because players do, I mean, that does happen. I mean, we could legitimately run 5-0 through Notre Dame.
If that happened, I mean, you talk about a historical start. I don't know, when you consider the quality of opponents in those first 5 games, Ole Miss at Memphis, and then Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's, Memphis, by the way, they're 2-0 right now, even though they don't have a respectable win, and their offense also looked a little shaky against Georgia State. But yeah, this is a
this game is a huge game for the rest of the season.
Ole Miss is? You think
Yeah.
this? Okay, we'll save that for Wednesday. Keep that energy.
I
want to keep that for Wednesday, because you're right. I want to go into this game so bad, even though I'm not done with all my I've still got. I need to finish their game. Need to finish rewatching it. And I need to look at some more of their PFF stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. Arkansas's offensive line. That was the other thing. Taylon Green. And I was looking at his performance against Arkansas State and how often his pocket was clean. Watching it with the naked eye and just being able to replay it on YouTube TV. Well, it wasn't on YouTube TV. It was on ESPN Plus. But for me, anyways, I couldn't watch it on YouTube TV, so I haven't been able to. I'm having to watch the highlights is what I'm doing. But when the eye test was okay, the offensive line performed really well. Do you want to guess based on his, and I know this is kind of like, this is difficult to, and this could be for anybody. Do you want to guess how often he was pressured on his dropbacks?
Probably 20%.
Okay, 20%. 20% is what you say. I'll give Chad a second to get caught up. Oh, by the way, we do have a question. We have this is the post live chat question, or post live show question. You're going to get some XP. Our new XP cycle starts tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So, boom, all you got to do is either tonight or tomorrow, screenshot, and then send it to me tomorrow, which would be the 9th, September 9th. And then you'll get XP right out the gate. You're going to get some XP for doing that. And the question is, through 2 games, who's your MVP? It's early, and yeah, they've played some craptastic teams. But I just want to know, if we're giving out a gold chain for the MVP through the first 2 games, who would it be? And then feel free to tell me why. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but... Anyways.
I was going to, but I couldn't.
So I want that question answered after the live show. Again, who's your MVP through 2 games?
Yep. So I said 20%. I will reiterate what I said a little bit earlier in the show.
Okay.
On the rewatch. I think in the past, let me back up. In the past, last year, the offensive line made Taylon Green look worse than he was. And I think that flipped Saturday, and Taylon Green made the offensive line look better than they were.
Oh.
They did play well. I'm not knocking them. They played way better than they have played. I'm not saying they didn't play well, but I'm saying some of the runs were breakdowns. It wasn't like it was a designed quarterback run for 64 yards. It was a breakdown in the offensive line, and he ran.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think he had the time. It was kind of a coverage breakdown. So it definitely was a better offensive line, but I think there were still, I stand on what I said earlier. I think there are still things to clean up on the offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, I would still give them a really good grade though.
Absolutely.
Like I'm still looking at that's his bad. So he was pressured only 14% of his snaps.
That's awesome.
I mean, I think the only time they did better last year was against UAPB that I can think of. And he didn't take as many snaps. I don't remember a snap count against UAPB, but that is really, really good. And again, this is Arkansas State. This is a team that has been competitive. This is, not at a high level, but they've got decent athletes. It's not like they're chock full of maybe some 5th, 6th rounders, but they've got some talent over there a little bit, enough that people think they're going to finish somewhere in like the top, maybe. I don't even know. I think I heard 3rd in their. I'm not sure. I don't. But it was still like this could have been worse, and we have certainly seen worse. However, his passing grades obviously took a little bit of a hit in this one. Only one registered drop from a wide receiver, but his overall completion against Arkansas State was 65%, 239 yards, 4 touchdowns. That puts him at 10 passing touchdowns on the year. I think 11 total.
Yep.
His completion, this is what's a little bit like it's got to be higher. Not that it's bad, but his clean pocket passing percentage was 68. Again, that's not terrible, but you kind of want that number. And I've talked with Stephen Hamner, QB Spotlight, about this. Depending on the matchup and who you're playing, that number needs to really be above about 72, 74% with a clean pocket. And then when you consider you're playing Arkansas State, who does not have the speed outside of one player on offense, they don't have the kind of speed to keep up with these receivers. They don't have the, an even average pass rush. That number needs to be a little bit higher, but it's still not bad. It's not like you're, oh, wow, that was terrible. It's not that bad at all. The one really encouraging thing was that when blitzed, he completed 67% of his throws. Meaning, he was either getting rid of the ball quickly or his offensive line was buying him enough time. And they didn't blitz a ton. This was not a heavy, this was not a zero coverage, defense. It's sending everybody in the house at you every snap. But they only blitzed him off his dropbacks, I think 7 times. But his not blitz number was about 65%. But again, both of his picks came from clean pocket throws. So
I didn't get to rewatch the second one, but the first one definitely was wide open pocket.
Mm-hmm. It was. His pass grade, or his overall pass grade, was 50.1 on PFF, and his overall offensive grade was 70.6 because his run grade was 89. Like you said, I mean, he made plays with his feet. But again, I agree with you that there's some stuff they're gonna have to clean up. They're gonna have to. You're kind of thankful in one way for those 2 picks. So maybe, with Petrino in the film room with him on Sunday, maybe he's getting after him a little bit.
Yeah, they certainly didn't hurt us, so that was okay. I mean, it's not like it was a pick 6 and it wasn't a big game. It wasn't. He didn't throw a pick 6 against Ole Miss so far. Where that actually hurts us. He threw an interception and we got the ball back.
Arkansas State did have speed. No, they didn't. Not on defense. They did.
No, it was all on offense, and it was just 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 guys on offense that got some speed for sure.
The returner had speed. The quarterback has a little bit of speed.
Yeah, Rainer could run, and that was the other thing. I kind of was wondering about, like, how they would deal with him, how they would contain him. And boy, they did. I mean, good grief. Arkansas State, just 285 total yards. Rainer threw for 125. And he ran for 38 yards. I don't think anything they saw surprised them. I don't think Arkansas State was like blown away by the SEC speed that Arkansas has. But I don't think they were overwhelmed and outmatched across the board. Outside of that, one successful drive and the kick return.
I will say this, and maybe you noticed it too. I felt like I saw a lot more defense swarming to the ball than I have seen in the past. They tried several times to throw screen passes, and we were there. 3 guys were there almost every time, hitting the screen pass for a loss. So the containment was really, really good. Again, this is great. I just want to see this consistently, as we all do, right? I mean, that's the most obvious thing in the world. Let's see this week in and week out, where we haven't really seen that since 2021. We're like, oh, well, we can kind of expect this same performance or similar performance just about every week.
Last year, that was not the case. And I know, you can go back to the Ole Miss game a year ago. Well, Taylor Green got knocked out of that one. And the defense just got absolutely torched. But, still, like, LSU should not have happened the way that it did. And if you don't shoot yourselves, and again, that speaks to what you were talking about earlier, where Arkansas is turning the ball over, and you think, like, okay, he's thrown 2 picks now. This is going to get ugly if he can't figure this out. And I mean, ugly as it could get between Arkansas and Arkansas State. And they didn't hang their heads and let it fall apart like they would against, or like they did against Oklahoma State. To be fair, Arkansas State doesn't have that caliber of talent, and it is Arkansas State. Again, there's that scroll across the bottom of the screen. We know it's not Oklahoma State level of athletes. I will say that is the thing that does concern you, is that it snuck up on Arkansas, and it reared its ugly head, which is the turnovers, the mental mistakes, the errors, the very thing that took you out of games last year. The very thing that forced you to collapse, which was yourself, because Oklahoma State didn't beat you. Arkansas beat you. Arkansas beat themselves. And that did rear its ugly head against Arkansas State with the mental errors. And that's kind of what Pittman teams tend to do. They have this just, I don't know, deer in headlights. We don't know what we're doing. Silly coaching, mistakes on special teams. Again, the mental errors, the turnovers. And again, you have a second half like you had against Oklahoma State. You can mention several teams. And last year, they really struggled at recovering from having those moments. They had one against Arkansas State. I say one, you know what I mean? And they recovered just fine. It was like, okay, back to what we were doing before the mistakes, and bing, bang, boom. They scored on almost 70% of their drives. They kept going. Second quarter was probably the most brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But they turned around. They scored 14 unanswered in the third and 7 in the fourth. So let's pull up some chat. Yeah, let's see. Sorey might be the best linebacker in the country. Boy, he looks so good. 15 tackles.
Yeah.
He did not score high on PFF, but I was trying to look at that, like, how could he not score that high?
Half a sack, 15 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
A pick. I don't understand.
He had I say not high, 71.8. It's not bad. I think it was did he miss a tackle or something? He had a 15% miss rate on tackles, which, again, when you have that many tackles, that's not that bad. I mean, that's a pretty good number. And he allowed 33% of the times he was targeted. He was only targeted 3 times in the passing game, and he only allowed 1 catch. And he registered 3 stops, which is a failure in – I forgot how –
one catch he allowed is the catch he destroyed that guy at the line of scrimmage.
Is that what it was? Yeah, it was -1.
That guy was coming across on the drag route, and he caught the ball and got murdered. They picked up.
Yeah, it was -1 yard
off the field,
and he had an interception.
Yeah, so that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, his cover grade is good. His cover grade is 70. It's almost 71. It's his pass rush, and okay, that's what it was. He had 10 pass rush attempts, and he he only accounts for 1 sack and 1 hurry off those 10 pass rush attempts. So that makes sense. And again, their grading is weird. It's like, okay, if you have that many pass rush attempts, how successful were you based on percentage? And then that can either help or hurt your overall grade. But yeah, his tackle grade was fine at 64. His run defense grade was 73.7. Sorey was a monster. At the end of the day, he passes the eye test. Who cares about anything else, right? Neal was also a good Lord. I don't think any corner at any
pass breakups.
He had. Well, I don't think so.
I know he had 1 in the first quarter.
Well, he should have had at least 1. Well, he had the interception.
More. Okay.
He had the 1 interception. His tackle grade, I don't think I've ever seen a corner with this high of a tackle grade. 84 overall tackle. 84 overall grade with 7 tackles. And his miss percentage was 0, which is unheard of for a corner.
Dang.
So I don't know, man. Maybe I'll think about moving him to safety.
No, because we don't have a corner that can cover like that.
That's fair. That's fair. And
Oh,
you mentioned Singletary, right?
Singletary grabbing on the jerseys all day long.
Yeah, he graded out as the lowest overall defender at 43.6. He did get credit. He had one tackle, but I don't know. Again, when you get into the language of all these,
the tackle he had on the pass interference.
yeah, on one of his three, he had two in the back-to-back plays. He had two pass interference
with a penalty in between them,
and that's just old habits die hard. I mean, he is. As long as I was able to watch him, going back, a couple of years in practice, I said this in Patreon chat repeatedly. This dude he gets beat, and the first thing he does is he's grabbing the back of that jersey. Well, he does it all the time.
And the announcers actually said, I in the rewatch, I caught this. The announcer said Singletary had great position till he looked back for the ball. And when he looked back for the ball is when he grabbed the jersey.
Yeah.
So they're like, his position was great. His coverage was great. He looked back for the ball and reached out and grabbed the jersey at the same time.
It's the same. It's like it should surprise any media member who's watched him in practice. I know they don't have access during the season, but spring and fall camp, he struggles with it. And the thing is, I think Singletary has the talent to be. He was a pretty highly rated player out of high school. He's got the raw talent. Like just when he's clean, he could guard Armstrong. He could go mostly toe-to-toe with Armstrong. Now, Armstrong would typically win the 50-50 jump balls, but Singletary's not small either. I mean, he's a what is he, 6'2"? I forgot his weight. But, he's a capable corner. It's just the mental errors. Now, he does get beat off the line of scrimmage, but he's got pretty good makeup speed. But he's not someone that's going to be a high PBU guy, and he's going to be a high penalty guy. And he just does not belong as a starter. I'm fine with him being a rotator, but only if you really need him on the field. I hate to say that because I think he does have raw talent. It's just piecing it all together. And I know they like him. He's got the experience. He's got quite a few snaps under his belt. And that's certainly something, especially when you get into SEC play, you appreciate. But if you can't get out there without making mistakes and mental errors the way that he does, I mean, good Lord. 2 PIs back to back, man. I mean, you talk about just, what a pump for the offense, and you're helping them out. They don't need help. Stop it. Keep your hands to yourself, man.
Yeah, I think in between those pass interference, it was actually a holding call that backed him up, and then he gave the yards back to him, if I remember right.
I think so. Holding penalties killed Arkansas defensive backs. Yeah. But here's if there's any kind of spin at all, they cleaned them up as the game went on. It got better. That's about as good as I can do. I'm not real thrilled with the 8 penalties for 74 yards. I'm not real thrilled about that, especially in front of a home crowd. Like, come on, man. You gave up nearly the entire length of the field in penalties, and who knows? I know you can't be perfect, but shouldn't be doing that. Arkansas State had just 6 for 56. Arkansas State had a grand total of 153 yards rushing. Again, the front 7 for Arkansas. Really impressive, man. Really, Sorey was definitely the highlight. He got the gold chain. He got the post-game gold chain. But like you could have mentioned
Lee.
Yeah, could have mentioned Lee, Quincy Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Worth quietly tackling wise was a beast in terms of not missing. I mean, he had, what they give him credit for, like 5, I think, tackles. And he didn't miss a single one. He had 0%. Caleb Wooden had a 40% miss rate. His tackle grade. Oh, Wooden's tackle rate. That's a lot of missing. 27 is his tackle grade right there, but his cover grade was 71. A lot of green, but certainly some yellow and red for this when you're looking at their grading sheet. And against someone like Arkansas State, you want to see that flipped a little bit. You want to see a lot more green than you do yellow, orange, and red. But like you said, man, there's plenty to work on. Blackstock did play. Someone had asked that. He did actually. He played 19 snaps. I thought I saw him out there.
But he recorded no stats, right?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think
Yeah, that's
so.
why he doesn't show up on ESPN. He no stats. 19 snaps. You know, and he's going to be, that's what his role is. He's going to be a gap filler. He's going to be a clogger if he gets that many more snaps moving forward. Going to the injury update, we need to get this out of the way. Sophomore wide receiver, you know, the 30-year-old sophomore. Shout out to him representing the old folks. I say that. I'm 12 years older than this guy. Monte Harrison out likely for the year. Man, I hate that for him so much. Likely out for the year. It's not a given, but it's a broken foot. I mean, I think we could all imagine the the recovery time on that's going to be a while.
Yeah.
It's not a huge
practice injury.
No, it was on the field, was it not? Was he not seen in? Did he not dress out for this game?
He didn't have a reception for sure.
Let me see. Yeah, he didn't have a catch. Let me double check here. I swear he was in his pads. Maybe he was out for the game. I know he was seen on crutches, but I thought it was something that happened early on in the game. Yeah, he doesn't have any
Minutes.
There's no snaps recorded. Of course, he wasn't targeted, so it won't show up. Well, we know he's out at least for a while, and I don't know that we're going to expect to see him back out there. So he'll catch that medical red shirt. Who knows what he does beyond that? I would like to see him try to, you know, finish it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like to see him come back next year, catch a red shirt and come back, because he had a really solid fall camp. Senior transfer defensive tackle David Oke to run. He was supposed to have ran today at practice. I've got him basically at day-to-day. I'm still – Pittman had mentioned it earlier today on the Zoom call that, you know, you got to go out there and you got to be able to practice on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll see if we get an update there somehow, some way about him. But David Oke, I would list him as day-to-day. I would put him as questionable. I don't know what the odds are. I honestly think if it's a team like Ole Miss and you only practice half the week, you should just sit out. Like maybe dress out. I guess it's a matter of whether or not he's going to travel. But senior linebacker Xavian Sorey has what sounds like a thigh bruise, and those can be troublesome. I think he's probably fine to travel. It just depends on it's kind of like the ankle sprain thing, right? Like a high ankle sprain versus a low ankle sprain. If it's a deep thigh bruise, he might be limited against Ole Miss. I don't know. But that sucks. You know, you got to have him good to go, especially the kind of game that he had against Arkansas State. You want him to build off that. And then Phillip Lee he left the game, apparently had a bruised ribs, if I heard that right. So we'll see about Phillip Lee. I think I'm expecting them both to travel and play, but I guess the question is how much. David Oke will probably be ready for Ole Miss because we need the depth. Well, again, he's got to practice, right? And you've got to show it to Pittman. So maybe he will. I hope that he does. Be huge for the depth. Also, nice defensive game. Phillip Lee was great. Really was. So yeah, that's your injury update. Tim.
Yeah.
This last thing. I don't know how you feel about this.
I'm gonna come unglued. I already know, because there's actually two things that you sent me we were going to talk about, and I know one of them I don't care about, so the other one has to be what you're talking about.
You're the governor.
Listen, when her dad was governor, he decided to step on everybody's toes and try to get into stuff that was none of his business. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember thinking like, I could never vote for him again if he is going to be the governor. I want to say it was like health, like weight. Like he wanted to be the weight conscious governor of Arkansas and make everybody lose weight. And I was like, why don't you do things that matter? And I get it, like weight matters and health matters and whatever. But why is it that a Huckabee has to get involved in things that are not governor issues? Like, mind your business.
Right.
So, and I know I'm going to make a bunch of people mad, and that's okay because that's my role here, is to make people mad. But if you truly love the Razorbacks, if you're a fan, and you're like, man, I love the Hogs. I love the Hogs. I'm going to back up from my mic because I'm going to get loud probably. I love the Hogs. Then why do you want games in Little Rock that take away recruiting opportunities? You don't love the Hogs. No, you don't. I'm sorry. Full stop. You don't love the Hogs. If you don't want them to have every recruiting opportunity that they can get, you don't love the Hogs, period. Little Rock needs to come to an end. War Memorial needs to come to the end. Sarah Huckabee Sanders needs to mind her own business and do governor things and not do sports.
Yeah.
You got me on a rant there, Ty.
So what he's referring to, if you hadn't heard yet, if you've been under a rock, it's this thing right here. Sarah Huckabee Sanders sent this, whatever you want to call it, this letter to the University of Arkansas Board of Trustees and Arkansas State, stating, again, here it is, University of Arkansas and Arkansas State Board of Trustees. Dear trustees, this week, golly, this font is so small on my screen. This week marked a historic moment for our state, the city of Little Rock, and War Memorial Stadium, as we hosted the first ever meeting between the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Red Wolves on the football field. Well, how that's okay. This special and long overdue occasion, no, it's not, united the University of Arkansas and Arkansas State University in a way that fans across Arkansas have dreamed for decades.
Well, fans on the east side of Arkansas, anyway.
I was going to say northeast Arkansas, maybe. As bases, let's see, as bases, and you hold the ability to ensure this game is not a one-time event, but the beginning of a lasting tradition. As governor, a native of Little Rock, and a lifelong football fan. Notice she doesn't say Hog fan or whatever.
Right.
I'm calling.
No Hog fan would ask for this.
I'm calling on you to make the historic matchup an annual event at War Memorial Stadium in the heart of our state. Generations of Arkansas have come to this stadium to cheer for their teams and witness some of the greatest moments in Arkansas sports history. Yeah, Razorbacks, that is, Madam Governor, but never before a game like this. Now is the time to change that. I urge you to work together to secure this tradition for the people of Arkansas. If I may be of any assistance in this effort, please do not hesitate to call me.
Let me call you something.
Here she is on the Buzz. Again, shout out to 103.7 The Buzz. I'm going to play their audio. I'm sure they don't mind giving them a little pub here.
Devil's advocate here for a minute. What about the financial considerations, Governor, when if you're Arkansas and you know you're losing $3 to $4 or $5 million a game by coming down here? Is that something, if that were to happen, Central Arkansas would need to be able to step up, whether it be chambers, whether it be whatever, to try to help that? Or you said it doesn't matter, it can be a loss leader?
I think there's some things that you can do to alleviate, but you're also not paying some of the travel costs and other things that get factored into a further away game. I think maybe the amount you're paying the other school doesn't have to be quite as high if you work out a long-term deal. I think there's some other things that can be negotiated that make it where the financial impact is not as big as you're talking about.
I'll be devil's advocate here for a minute. What about the financial?
Okay. Here's the problem with this. You're creating yet another travel game for Arkansas if you play this game every year in Little Rock. It's another game from Fayetteville. It's another, you can't, there's no way you could do this every single year. Not only that, you've got, with the 9 SEC game schedule coming up, and you've got I think they've mostly got their 3 games figured out now for the foreseeable future. This is probably just simply a political move just to look good to the folks in Little Rock, and her base and her supporters are probably mostly out of that area, or at least the donors or whatever. This is probably more of a political move because we know there are people with money in Central Arkansas that want this game to stay down there. Here's the problem too. This could have been it. This could have been the last time we're ever down there. And I'm not saying that now all of a sudden that this is a realistic possibility, but it keeps this damn stadium in the subject of conversation now. Like it's never going away because you've got politicians sticking their nose where it doesn't belong.
Where it doesn't belong.
You're using your power when you're sending a letter like that to those board of trustees. That's basically like, it's a stance. Like, no, I want that game here. Now, I don't know beyond that what she can actually do. We know Arkansas State has responded. I thought I saw where they came out and they were like, yeah, no, we're all for this. Of course they are, right?
They get paid.
Arkansas, I don't think has responded yet. I would love for Hunter Yurchek to come out and say, you know what? We'll think on it. But for right now, our schedule is set as far as non-con games. And she talks about saving, money and all that. Again, you're creating a situation where instead of getting a team into Fayetteville, well, now we've got to travel to Little Rock. And the logistics of that will cost them around $2.5 to $3.5 million, if I heard that right on the buzz. So, and I apologize if that number's wrong. Don't quote me on it, but I know at one point 10 years ago they had talked about it being over $1 million. So with inflation the way it is, I'm sure it is up there. So you're creating an environment, or you're creating a situation where now it's another needless move to travel, or a needless move to travel down to Little Rock when they could just have someone come to Fayetteville. I realize they're playing at Memphis and they got this deal with Tulsa. I get it, but those are already set in stone, and that's not an annual thing where we're doing it every single year. This is silly, and I wish she had never done this. I don't care if you're a supporter of hers or not. I don't care. This is I don't know, man. This is government sticking its nose in where it doesn't belong. She does not belong. I don't honestly, the way she could have answered that was, hey, if she had been asked, obviously she wouldn't be on the radio if she hadn't, suggested this. But if it was the other way around and they're asking her about it, the response from her or her office would be, you know what, we'll let the schools figure it out, whatever they want to do. At the end of the day, that's their market, that's their business, that's their corner. I'm going to let them, because I'm a Republican, and we typically are against getting government so involved. Although we know how that works between the two parties. They're basically, same sides of a coin. But that is supposed to be their stance, right? And here she is doing that. Only people that want this are the people that just, they're mad that this game's being taken away to begin with. Or playing in Little Rock is being taken away. As far as playing Arkansas State, if they want to come to Fayetteville every year, which I doubt they do, whatever. I don't care. Schedule them. I don't give a damn.
And that was Sam's initial response earlier, not after the game, but like a week or two ago when he was asked about it. He said, if they want to come to Fayetteville, we'll play this game in Fayetteville. Great. Come to Fayetteville. I don't care about Arkansas State. If you want to take a beating every year, if you want to be embarrassed on television every year, great. Come get embarrassed every year.
On ESPN Plus. That game it'll never catch.
That's fair. It may never catch, but if you want to get embarrassed, that's fine. Come get embarrassed in Fayetteville, where the game actually belongs. Again, it also goes to recruiting, which nobody else is really talking about. But we can't take recruits to War Memorial, if I remember right.
You can't. No, you can't bring them on an official visit.
Opportunity.
It is, and you just got done with that with the game with A&M playing them down in their backyard. You just got done with that.
Take recruits there either, yeah. So we've got to fix those things. Get all the games in Fayetteville. Tear down War Memorial Stadium. Make it a giant cemetery to football. Or give UALR a team and let them get embarrassed by Arkansas State. I don't care.
Yeah. And now it is controlled. The stadium is controlled by the state. It's run by the Arkansas Parks and Rec. I heard Chuck Barrett complaining they didn't have Wi-Fi. They couldn't even do the live stats, and then we had the camera trouble. Now that might have been an ESPN thing, but it's just so much easier to blame Little Rock.
It might have been Wi-Fi related.
It could have been Wi-Fi related. So it's just it's one problem after the other. Not like Fayetteville is perfect. I think there's been issues with the play clock a couple of times last year. I think I remember having some issues, and that's fine. Every stadium has little stuff like that. But War Memorial is it's just old and outdated, and you just have no business hosting SEC games there. It was fun. I've been to several down there, tailgated down there once. What a blast it was. But it's time. It's time to put it to bed and move on, man. And there are a couple of Little Rock people that get mad about it. We had one leave our Discord. He got so upset about it. So mad he kicked me out. He runs a Arkansas Facebook fan page. He kicked me out of it. He was so mad about our takes on Little Rock in the Discord. I'm sorry, bro. The stadium sucks. It's outdated. We don't need to play there. It's always been about money, but it's more so about money than ever. So, it is what it is. Shout out to Angel, by the way.
Arkansas's got to come up with $25.5 million a year, right?
Is it 25 or 20.5?
$20.5 million a year. Okay. $20.5 million a year. And we're leaving 30,000 seats on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but Gary, I mean, listen, man, I don't know. Are we comparing Vegas to I mean, I love you, Gary. You're an OG in here, man. I love your takes, but yeah, we're definitely going to take advantage of that. I don't have a problem with doing that once a year. If you got an opportunity to go play at in an NFL stadium, or you get a chance to go to Vegas, okay, take it. If it's once or two times in a couple of years, whatever. But yeah.
That's I see that as kind of like the basketball thing where they can travel out of the country and play in Europe once every so many years.
Yeah, it's something like that. They changed the rule to it.
Yeah, well, doing like a Vegas one year or a Texas Stadium one year or something, that's something you pitch to your kids and say you're going to get to play here.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but maybe it is a bigger deal to a kid that you're going to get to play on that field one time in your college career.
Yeah.
But being stuck at War Memorial Stadium every year against a crap team, I mean, maybe that has some pull to an in-state kid who's going to get to play in front of his family in Little Rock, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that much. To play in a dumpster doesn't mean anything.
Which is why the option to play A&M, which was the Southwest Conference Classic kickoff, which is why it was so appealing in the beginning. It's like, oh, well, okay, we can recruit that area.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of why I was okay with it for a while. And then,
they joined the SEC, right?
Well, that and the losses just started piling up after they joined the SEC. And it was like, all right, maybe let's play this home and home instead of playing it in basically their backyard. I mean, it's definitely closer for them than it is for us. But yeah, you can't take recruits to Tulsa, but yeah, I mean, that's part of the deal. That's a 3-for-1 deal, I think. Like they're playing Tulsa, or maybe it's 2-for-1. I don't know what it is, but I think they agreed to that so long as Tulsa plays in Fayetteville twice, and that's why they're having to play at Tulsa. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that was the deal. Transplant Texas, here you go. Vegas is an event with national exposure. War Memorial Stadium is an SEC plus game with limited interest and no exposure beyond the state border.
Exactly.
Damn. There it is. Transplant Texan just dropping facts.
Limited interest is being generous.
It really is. I mean, it's, and she's talking about like this could become a rivalry. It sounds like if she's wanting this to become some annual game down there.
Listen, this is not okay. This is when you're talking to a casual fan like Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Governor Sanders, whatever you want to call her, a casual fan. And I say that because you can guarantee that she's looking at this like, well, this could be like Bedlam, like OU, OSU. It will never be that because at least typically OU and OSU put up relatively competitive teams against each other, but Arkansas State is not going to put up a competitive team.
Yeah,
this is just going to be a barnstorming every single time.
Yeah,
so it's not the same thing, and
Oh,
We won't
speaking
do
of
that.
this, I have to play this video.
Okay.
Y'all are gonna love this. Hang on, let me take that down. See if this will play here. This is Arkansas State. You know how much noise these guys have talked.
Also all over social media. It's the amount of Arkansas fans that are writing this game off as a cupcake and are writing this game off as, oh, it doesn't matter. We don't need to worry about this game. Well, I've got news for you. This is the first time these schools have matched up in the history of this great state. These are the two biggest colleges in the state of Arkansas, and they are matching up for the first time ever because of some petty little rule that one of the colleges in the state had that wouldn't allow any of the other colleges to play it. I think this is great for the state. It's great for the history of the sport in the state of Arkansas. This is a phenomenal time to go down to Little Rock, even though we might be playing in War Memorial, and go see some history happen.
Oh, I'm kind of speechless. That was a tangent and a half. Yeah, I do agree. I think that Arkansas, with the history that they have with blowing games to random schools.
Like ULM.
This is not a random school. This is Arkansas State. We can compete. I kind of hate how.
This is not ULM. This is Arkansas State. We can compete. That aged well.
Listen, they're kids. You know, I try not to just like bash kids or anything. I get it. I guess they're students at the U of A. That might be a campus news station or whatever. Yeah, ASU TV. I just saw that, and someone was like, "Bro, you need to play this on the live. It would get a kick out of it." So I thought, yeah, let's do it. This is pretty good. They definitely put that out there and did not take it down. So hats off to them. And again, these are kids. You know, God bless them. Okay, but no. And bringing up ULM. You're not pointing out what was substantial about that year when ULM came into when they beat Arkansas. You had John L. Smith as the interim head coach, and that program had just fallen to the ground. Bobby Petrino built a house of cards, and ULM came in and beat Arkansas. But on a year like this year, that wouldn't have happened, and you saw what happened to Arkansas State. You got trashed. We have less business playing in Tulsa than we do Little Rock.
I mean, it's hard to argue that, honestly. Of cupcakes that we could schedule. We don't claim those guys, says Red Wolf Vibe. I'll read that for you because you're laughing too hard.
At least, hey man, appreciate you being in here. Oh man,
no, John Hawes is not wrong. I don't know why we're playing Tulsa of all schools.
Yeah,
maybe to give some variety. Maybe they're going, hey, it's variety.
Yeah,
I don't know. Explain to me that one. I couldn't tell you. We might as well play Arkansas Tech next.
Yeah, play UCA. You know what though? I would kind of like to see UCA. There's an interesting connection between Fayetteville and UCA. We used to send Fayetteville High used to send so many players down there. I mean, our trainer when I played there was a punter there. I think we had coaches on staff that went there. This is an interesting connection. You know, Zach Clark would go there after he transferred from Arkansas. He'd go play quarterback down there. I think Cody Clark followed him down there to pitch for him because he was a really good pitcher. OG Fayetteville stuff right there for the two of you that might remember that.
My nephew's their number one wide receiver right now.
That's pretty cool. I listen. I'd be okay with playing. I'm not as hung up about playing in-state schools as some people are. I really don't care. At the end of the day, you're either going to play ULM, New Mexico State. You're going to play somebody. I'm not one of these people that gets so angry about playing these schools. It's when you play them on the road, and I don't like that they're going to Tulsa. And I'm going to be real. I don't like that they're going to Memphis, even though Memphis is a pretty substantial step up from Arkansas State or Tulsa for that matter lately. So I'm not real thrilled about that either. It's when you're playing schools like that on the road. When they went and played Colorado State, of course, we know how that turned out, but it's like as a program, despite what you did that season or didn't do, it's still like Arkansas is when you look at revenue, when you look at value, this is a top 25 program in the country in those terms financially. I know right now it's weird to say that with some of the issues that they're apparently having. Maybe they're having, I don't know. I guess it depends on what aisle you sit on there, but like, this is not a program that should be playing on the road against these teams, but Arkansas is not the only team. There's been some other P4 schools that are going on the road to play these guys.
John Beckman says play us in Jonesboro. You want to get crapped on in front of your families? You don't want your mom to see that, right?
Oh man, your stadium, yeah, your infrastructure would be in trouble, John. I don't know. Do y'all have Wi-Fi there? Do you have Wi-Fi? Can I connect to my phone there, or cell coverage? Listen, I got T-Mobile, and
you may not have coverage anywhere. Right?
I don't have coverage. I don't have coverage in here. Thank God for Wi-Fi calling. We get back from Jerry Jones. We get back from Jerry Jones, which could fund the entire school and then some. He's talking about backing. I figured that's what you meant. Just listen, man. We're not here just shitting on Arkansas State because we can, but maybe somewhat. But the fact that you guys talked so much shit for so long, especially when Arkansas was down and Arkansas State was actually pretty decent, we didn't forget, man. We didn't forget. So listen, you got what you deserved in Little Rock. Now, I will be happy for you if you go on and win out. If you win your Sun Belt, hey, awesome. But don't ever get it twisted. You're not in the SEC. You don't play the schedule, and you're just in the shadow of the University of Arkansas. You just got to accept it. And Saturday, you got a little taste. Are there some years where Arkansas State was probably better? Yeah, especially during the Chad Morris era. And a couple of years under Bielema. My God. But truth just hurts. You got smacked. And for the most part, I think Arkansas State fans have accepted it. And by the way, I would argue 60% of those fans are Hog fans anyways. So those aren't really the people we're talking to. We're talking to the shit-talking Arkansas State fans over the last however long. You got it. You got a taste, baby. I'm surprised you want more.
And actually, you got a second game taste. Be the cupcake in November that we play sometime when we've actually got all cylinders firing. Then you don't have all of those little mistakes that we made.
Yeah. I root for Arkansas State and the other schools in the state. But these Maldy our Arkansas State fans make it real hard to do that. It's in, I guess we're just, we're already a small state. There's only 3+ million people in the state. That's not very much. That many people commute to Fayetteville to New York on a daily basis. We're not a big state, and what there's just not room for another school in this state. There's just not, and there's really not that much money in this state outside of Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. Oh, Mouthy. He meant to say Mouthy. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's too bad you can't go back and edit your comments. I hate that. I do that from time to time too. Don't feel bad. Yeah, we got you, Clint. We hear you, buddy. The Red Wolf delusion is strong. Oh, God bless them. And I'm happy when UCA gets some national attention, when Arkansas State wins a big game. Hey, man, awesome. Represent the state well. But when it comes to shit talking Arkansas, stay in your lane. You're not on this level.
I don't knock any of those schools outside of playing Arkansas. And there's no reason to.
No, not at all. Wish them the best. Had some pretty good coaches come through some of these schools, and that's awesome.
Yeah, you know how Ty's a big Malzahn fan. Saw Malzahn come through Arkansas State.
They've had a couple. They've had some pretty good coaches come through there. And by the way, most most Arkansas State fans I've ever been around, again, they're almost always Arkansas fans also, but they're usually just really good people. I mean, they really are. They're good people because they're Arkansans. Of course they are. Most of them. You know, do we have our fair share of dipshits in this state? Of course. What state doesn't? You know, we get. I think collectively as a state, we get shit on a lot. You know, maybe some of it's deserved, but there's good people in the state. I'm proud that I'm from here. I'm proud that I'm from Fayetteville. I'm proud that I have family in Central Arkansas. I'm proud that I've got my family in Massac County. I love it. I love being from here. I'm not, when someone asks me from out of state, like when I used to Uber, when I drove Uber way back when it first hit the area, and you get these students from Dallas, Fort Worth, and they're like, "Oh, so where are you from? Are you from Tulsa? Are you from St. Louis or Oklahoma City?" No, I'm born and raised right here in Fayetteville. And it's rare.
There's lots and lots of us, right?
There is. And it's all the damn transplants, you know, all the people coming in from Walmart.
36 people a day.
Say what?
I heard today it's 36 people a day move in here.
Is it 36 a day? I thought it would be higher than that.
I mean, that's still 10,000 people a year.
That's true. That is still a lot of people. Ty, did you witness the death of Okie State? I saw the score. Oh my God. Oh, it hurts even more. Oh, that loss last year. That is a game. I swear I lost so much sleep over that. I just could not believe it. People use the term Sigma to define me. It's that. I have no idea. We're too old, I guess. I kind of want to experience Ty the Uber driver. Yeah, man, I did it for like 2 years, and I was a substitute teacher in the Springdale School District, the largest school district in the state of Arkansas. Did that for a little while, and then I was like, okay, I want to move on to something full time, talking about the Razorbacks, and it's worked out pretty well. We're crawling towards 2 million total views, by the way. New subscribers, I appreciate you guys. Patreon supporters, we got our cards out for the month of August. We've got our winners, so those cards will be wrapped up nice and neatly, hopefully by before the end of the week, and we'll get those shipped out to all the legendary status winners. Those are autographed cards, so make sure you're paying attention to either Discord or Patreon for the next cards. I already released them in Discord, but I'll probably do the same on Patreon here soon. Ty will be your personal Uber driver during the meetup. Dude, I made bank when Auburn came to town. Oh my God, I made like $500 that weekend when they came to town and beat the snot out of the Razorbacks. Yeah, man, it was good money back then. Just doing it on the weekends wasn't that bad. Now it's probably awful. I can't imagine. All right. Well, I think we're about wrapped up here. Tim, is there anything else you want to bring up? Is there any?
Yeah, there is one more thing I want to bring up, actually. Am I able to post the link down there?
You should be able to.
Let's try it.
If not, it might be something I have to change.
It will not let me post the link. That's right. I will just say it and someone else can post it.
Yeah.
Ty and Tusk Talk is up for the RCast Podcast Awards for 2025. He was up for it last year and did not quite make it. I think he came in second or third for Best Sports Podcast. But you only get to vote once. Would love for you guys to go out and vote for Tusk Talk in the RCast Awards 2025. And there is a link.
If you send it in private chat, I can.
Okay, I can do that.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I think you've helped set that up. I appreciate that, man. Really do. Yeah, I don't know what I have no idea what let's see. Well, let me copy. Let's see. Here we go. If you guys want to go vote, you might have to do a little bit of scrolling. Oh, there it is. Other mic's already on top of it too. Look at that. Other mic coming through. Clutch. Do you have access to our private chat since you're a mod, Other Mike? I didn't think about that. There's a link to Discord if you guys want to sign up. By the way, new cycle begins tomorrow morning. There is RXP, the brand new cycles. That means we're going to have 2 winners this month. We didn't have 3 because I finished ahead of everybody. Well, I had finished ahead of, I finished in the top 3. You got to finish in front of me and in the top 3 to get that reward. And so we've got cards. One of them is going to be an autographed card going to Hog Pat. And then John Oliver's going to get a card. He's also getting another card. So he'll get 2 cards this month because we had a mess up with the Patreon with the names for the last couple of months. So I'm going to ship him something special. So yeah, but you get in on it. That's it, man. That's all you got to do. You just sign up, and then when you chat in Discord, it counts as XP every time you chat. So it's really that simple. That you can get in on predictions. You can wager your XP in 2 predictions per weekend. Those are stated in the prediction part of the forums and Discord. Real simple, real fun. It's a blast. We try to make it fun. So Tim, I appreciate you, man, taking a little bit of time out of your evening every Monday to be here. Wednesday, I think it's are you going to be here for that Wednesday for the
I should be here Wednesday. Travis says he will definitely be here Wednesday. Cross our fingers, don't hold our breath. And we'll see if that happens.
Yeah. So we'll get that set up and we'll talk Ole Miss on Wednesday. I'm telling you, man, I've shifted my mind in a couple places when it comes to Ole Miss. We'll break it down. Again, that'll be Wednesday, probably 6:30, about the same. It's not set in stone or written in stone, but it'll either be 6:30. It might be a little later, but make sure, again, you've hit the subscribe button and you've hit the notification button. Even to the Arkansas State people, we took some shots at you, and it seems like a couple of you took it pretty well. So we do appreciate you. Yeah. We wish you nothing but success the rest of the year, so long as you're classy.
Win the rest of your games. We're good.
Yeah. Go win the rest. Oh, appreciate this. Crash Out says you're the best Arkansas sport. Hey, by the way, shout out to Trey Biddy, who gave me a shout out on his show. Towards the end, I got tagged in Discord about that, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Went back and watched it. That was really neat. Appreciate Trey Biddy. He's I definitely 247 is definitely where I go for recruiting rankings for sure, at the very least. And Trey does a great job. His walk and talks are a lot of fun, and they're good to watch. I recommend the walk and talks. It's one of the best things you can catch on a Saturday night after my show. And typically he uploads when I'm done because he's got to do the thing with the media and the media room and all that. But yeah. Oh, the Aussie stuff. Oh my gosh. Do you know about this?
I don't.
Do you know who Aussie is on Twitter?
Oh, yeah. I saw it.
He threatened to on a video chat, he threatened to beat up
He's a clown.
Bro, he's like 5'5", 150 pounds. Biddy's pretty stocky. I don't know that I would, I would pay to watch that. Biddy would, I don't know. I feel like Biddy would curb stomp him, but don't go threatening people because they're not asking the coaches. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. I'm going to beat you up because you're not asking the hard, quote unquote, hard questions to the coaching staff and the players. Jeez, grow up. My God, man. That's so stupid. All right, we'll end on that. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on Wednesday. Yeah, that's it. You guys have a good rest of your week until Wednesday, and then we'll come back. All right. Bye.